What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I've got another Denali Ultimate for you today at 2500. So my brother and I were kind of raised up as Chevy people, GM people, and I kind of stayed with it, and I never went the other direction. I always stayed with a Chevy. And my brother has this thing for Ford F-250s and Super Duties that years ago he switched over to Ford, and he's always had a Ford. For the last 5 years at least, he's had a Ford. He had a GMC before that, but we've been doing so many of these GMCs up here at the shop that he decided to go buy one because they look good, right? You put those 37s on there with a leveling kit and all that. So he went and bought the identical truck, and he just showed up yesterday, and he's like, "Look, I bought a new truck. Let's do what you guys do to them, or let's do what we normally do to these trucks to mine." And I said, "Okay, 37 1250s." He said, "No, I want 1350s." I said, "I don't think 1350s are going to work." He said, "Well, I got to have mud grapplers or I'm not doing it." And I said, "Well, we can try it." I said, "If you do a 22-inch wheel, it'd probably fit a little bit better than a 20 because the sidewall of the tire probably won't hit in the same place that I think it will on the 20. But I'm starting to think now that if we just do this SuspensionMAXX key and the 22-inch wheel with a 37-inch mud grappler, it should work." So we're going to do it in this video. Actually, I know it's going to work. We've tested it. So stay tuned for the video and tell me what you think about 37, 1350, 22 Nitto mud grapplers on a truck with a SuspensionMAXX leveling kit and some 22-inch OEM gloss black wheels, the G21s. I appreciate you guys watching. All right, so let me take you through the reasons why I think SuspensionMAXX is the best torsion key for your GM 2500 truck. This is what I always recommend here at Southern Tire, and we don't have any issues with it. Not to downplay any other brand, right? Rough Country, Cognito, whoever, like I said, they all make a good torsion key. But here's the reasons why I think this one's better. It's kind of tough to explain if you're new to this, but here we go. So SuspensionMAXX has adjustable torsion keys. Now, yes, every torsion key is adjustable from any brand, but it's adjustable with the it's adjustable with the bolt on the torsion key, right? Small adjuster bolt, you go up, the truck goes up, you go down, the truck goes down. Now, when you go up, it does make the ride stiffer on most trucks. There's nothing really you can do about that. You can find the sweet spot in the torsion key most times that's not so rough riding and go with that. But it also affects your alignment, your camber, your caster, and your angles of your CV axles and your control arm. So SuspensionMAXX is a torsion key like any. Kind of looks cool. It's red. It has this adjusting gear inside that most torsion keys don't have. Most torsion keys are just this hex right here, and it's fixed. So when you put this in the truck, the bolt that I was talking about earlier, you go straight up on this side or straight down, and it moves this hex. That bar that connects to this is the torsion bar. It's plugged into the back of the lower control arm, and that control arm moves and mimics what the torsion key does. So if you go up with the bolt, torsion key moves, control arm moves. That's your lift height in the front. What's cool about this is if you use a regular torsion key that has the hex right here, when you go up, you're just up. So when you have the torsion bar cranked at this angle, it does ride rough, it rides stiff. So what's cool about SuspensionMAXX is they have, if you look on here, you can see numbers and letters. This is coded for every specific ride height that you want your truck to be at. So you can pull this hex out and twist it and put it back in somewhere, and you can maybe lower the torsion key down and still have the control arm think it's up. It really makes the ride better. Another thing is most torsion keys have a little bit of a gap in between where the torsion bar goes into here and this hex. And that also creates a ride issue when you go over train tracks, potholes, things like that. You really feel the slop in the suspension. This tightens that all up. Now, in the box with these, they also put in differential drop spacers, the bolts to adjust it with, and every bit of hardware you need. And it also comes with instructions. In these instructions, you can see a cool little sticker. They actually give you a guide in here that tells you where you can pinpoint each ride height at the lowest setting on the torsion key. So that's what I always tell my my customers that come in to get these, because they want the smoothest ride possible. I mean, everybody does. Everything that you need to put these in is in here. I really wouldn't recommend doing it without the proper tools or shop, you know. That's why we're here. It is a dangerous install on these if you don't have the right stuff to do it with. So this is what we're going to go with. Also, they're made in USA. That's really cool. You don't see that much these days. But we're going to put these in this truck, and I'll show you what it looks like when they're on the truck. All right, so here's this truck. It looks like a lot of the Denali Ultimates you see on my channel. We did the SuspensionMAXX 2.5 inch, up to 2.5 inch key right there. Typically, I set these at 1.75 inches of lift to do the 37 1250s and 37 1150s. But this one we did a 2.25 inches of lift and a 37 1350 22 Nitto mud grappler. Now the problem with these tires usually is this sticks out so far that it rubs on things on the inside. So I've been scared to try to sell this to a customer, because if I don't know if it works or not, I don't want to sell it really until I've tried it. Well, this truck is only on torsion keys. It has the factory control arms. This is how much we clear right there. Now that's never going to be an issue on the control arm. The tires do touch a little bit on that sway bar right there, and they rub the back part of the little frame rail right there just a hair, but that's only at about 9/10 of the way turning. So this truck does turn most of the way still, and it's not really something that gets in the way while you're driving it. The Nitto mud grappler is a very, very smooth riding tire, but it does have a lot of noise to it. I personally like the noise, but a lot of people don't. The only thing we had to do trimming wise was on the bottom of this front bumper. We trimmed a little bit there, just kind of rounded that corner off. He still has this plug and it's still functional. On the back side, believe it or not, it did not hit the factory mud flap, and there was no trimming involved at all there, so it clears. Overall, I think this is a great setup, daily driver setup. Here's the way that the truck kind of looks with the tires on it, and lift it up. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you have any questions, number 678-994-9180. I know this video is already all over the place. There's a part 2 to it, so stay tuned. I didn't really know how to divide the 2 videos up, but I threw it into one video. So there's another 2500 to look at, so stay tuned for this one. So as you guys know, sometimes I take days off here and there. I was off this last Saturday. We kind of take turns on those days off, and we had a job set up for this Monday. It was a 2025 GMC Sierra 2500 Denali, and the guy came in and dropped it off on Saturday, which is cool. He dropped it off early with the Saturday guys, and they went ahead and did the job on Saturday because they had time to do it. So I missed the video on this truck, but I'm going to go ahead and go over it. I'm going to put it at the back part of this current video that I'm working on now, so you guys can see the truck. You know, the last thing I want to do is have a customer drive from out of state and get a bunch of work done on a nice truck, and then I don't put it on YouTube, which is, it's impossible to put them all on YouTube, but man, I want to. So I'm gonna flip the camera around and show you this truck. This is one of the cleanest ones, and this is a wheel that I haven't seen yet, so